Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm sorry that my hair is literally two different colors. Yeah, the top faded and the extensions are dark. So let's just pretend that it's like a reverse ombre kind of thing. Okay, so today we are going to be doing a drugstore, full drugstore, everything is drugstore routine. This is a fall glam look. So if you want to learn how to do this, then please keep on watching. Okay, so first we're going to start off with our primer, and the primer I'm using today is Maybelline Baby Skin. So when you apply this, just make sure to pat it on, don't smear it on, because you want it to fill all your fine lines and all your pores. And for foundation, I'm using L'Oreal True Match. This one's called Perfect Match because I got it in Germany. So it's named something different, but it's the same thing. And the shade that I'm using is 2N. So I'm going to apply this by putting little dots all over my face. And then I'm going to blend it all in using a synthetic buffing brush. The one I'm using is by Morphe, and it is the E44. So the brushes that I'm using today, they are not drugstore brushes, but these are more affordable brushes, and they are on par with a lot of very high-end, very expensive brushes, but they're more affordable. And the key to having good makeup isn't necessarily the products, it's the brushes make such a difference. So I do not use drugstore brushes because I can't find any good ones, especially in Canada where we don't have a lot to choose from. We don't have Sonia Kashuk or any of that stuff, so I don't use them. But I really recommend that you guys get some nice brushes that really help you with applying your makeup, because it makes such a difference. You can use cheap products and make it look like $1,000,000 if you have the right brushes. So moving on to concealer, the concealer I'm using today is, is Maybelline's Better Skin can't talk, Camouflage Concealer and Corrector. I have the French version facing me, so I'm trying to read it and I'm like, what is that? So this is a drugstore dupe for the Urban Decay Naked Skin. I really like this stuff. It's not as full coverage as the Urban Decay version, but it's a pretty good dupe for an affordable price, because the concealers that come in these kind of like tube and wand applicators, you can like run through them so quickly. So if you're spending tons of money on it, it can really drain your wallet pretty fast. So this is a really good, more affordable version. And the brush that I'm using to blend that in is the Morphe E48. And please excuse the cray-cray faces that I make. I have serious, sensitive, not eyes, but like, I don't know what it's called, but when you know like how your eyes and your nose and everything are connected, I am so sensitive when touching my eyes that it makes me sneeze, it makes my eyes water. So I'm sorry if my eyes water and I sneeze. A lot of apologies happening today. And I'm just going to blend this onto my eyelids because I don't have a drugstore eye primer. So now we are going to set it using the NYX Contour Kit. This is the best contour kit, you guys. I prefer this one to any of the high-end ones. I find that the light shades work really well for fair-skinned people like myself, whereas in the other sets, they don't. So the color that I'm using, is this one right here, because the banana is a little too dark for me. And the light shade in this is so pigmented, where again, the lighter shades in the other contour kits, powdered contour kits, they're not pigmented enough, so you don't even really do anything. And now for bronzer, I'm going to be using the Rimmel Natural Bronzer. I love this bronzer. I use this every day, not just when doing drugstore tutorials. So the brush I'm using is again Morphe. I'm sorry, I love Morphe brushes. This is the M527. So I'm just applying this everywhere the sun would hit, and just to give my face a little more warmth and dimension, because I don't want it looking like it's all one solid color. And I'm applying it to my neck as well because my body is just so white right now. Now I'm just kind of dusting leftovers everywhere. And then to contour, I'm using the contour kit again, and I'm using this nice ashy tone right here. And I'm using not a Morphe brush, I'm using a Siame Beauty 1.5. I'm just applying that into the hollows of my cheeks. And a little on my forehead because, as I always say, I have the biggest forehead in the game. And I'm not going to do a nose contour today because it's not always necessary. For blush, I'm using this e.l.f. blush, and the shade is Rose or Royalty. It's not really a rose shade. It is on camera, I guess, but it has more of an orangey, warm undertone than a typical cool rose shade. And the brush I'm using is the Morphe G1, and this is a cream blush, so we're just going to pat it onto the skin and not swipe it. And I really like this cream blush because it's a drier consistency than, like, say, the NYX cream blush, which is pretty much just like lip gloss, if you will. Like, it's very slippery where it can smear off your face, where this one really stays put all day, and for the price it's like $1, so you cannot go wrong. And for highlight, I'm also using the NYX contour kit, and I'm using this shade right here. And I don't want too crazy of a highlight, so I'm using the Anastasia A23 highlighting brush. And one other amazing thing about this palette is the highlighter on the end here. It is shimmery and beautiful and bone white. So if you are super fair, then you have a highlight, because it's hard to find highlighters in kits for really fair skinned people, and that one is fantastic. Okay, so moving on to eyebrows, I'm using the e.l.f. medium, I don't know what this is called because I threw it in the package, but the medium brow, let's say duo, because there's two things in it. So it has the powder and it has the gel, and this is not smudge proof or smudge proof. So that is what separates it from the Anastasia Dip Brow, but it is super pigmented and really creamy and easy to work with. So if you're not going swimming and you don't plan on touching your brows a whole lot during the day, then this is a really great product, and it's only a couple bucks, so you should get it. And the brush that I'm using is the Anastasia number 7 brush. I prefer I think it's the number 12, but I forgot it at home, so I'm so sad. So if you guys want to see how I do my brows, since I'm not zoomed in right now, I do have a couple videos up on that, so I will link them below. And since I am using different products in that video, the application is the same, so you can kind of get a feel for what I do. But I will be filming a straight up drugstore brow routine that is nice and close up for you guys, so you can see exactly what I'm doing. As you can see, this stuff is so easy to work with. It's just a shame that it's not smudge proof. And then to set the brows, I'm using the Rimmel Brow This Way Brow Styling Gel in the shade brown, because I don't see what the shade is. So this stuff is very thick and very pigmented, so be careful. And I wouldn't call this necessarily a gel, as it doesn't really hold them into place like a gel, but it just adds some texture to them and kind of keeps them in place.
So the eye palette I'm using is the CoverGirl True Naked Nude palette, and the first shade I'm going to use is the Shell shade, and I'm using that on a Morphe 524 brush, and just applying that face all over. Next, I'm using the Fawn shade on a Simei 2.4 blending brush, and I'm just applying this right into the crease as a transition shade, and I'm blending this upwards and outwards. Now using that same shade and a Morphe M507 tiny little tapered brush, I'm applying this to my lower lid. Now on the M514 brush by Morphe, I am using this cocoa color and applying this very blendedly, is that a word, into the crease and the outer corner, and just blending everything together so that it's super soft and diffused. Now I'm using Buff. I'm applying this with my E60 Sigma brush onto the inner corner and the brow bone. Now using the shade Mink, I'm applying this to the outer third of my eye, I guess you could say, and then applying the Champagne shade to the rest of the eyelid with the same brush again. And then I'm going to line my eyes with the Maybelline Lasting Drama Gel Pencil, and I'm doing a wing here, but this is a really great liner. It's super pigmented, so I'm just going to sharpen the edges with a liner brush, and the one that I'm using is the Simei Beauty 2.8 brush. Now just curl your eyelashes and apply mascara. The mascara I'm using is the L'Oreal Voluminous Carbon Black. And then apply your false lashes. The ones that I'm using are from Elegant Lashes, and these are number 747. These are the same as, you know, Red Cherry or Ardell Wispies. These are very affordable, but the website sells in bulk, so these are great for pro makeup artists. And I also applied a white eyeliner to my waterline. That one was by NYX. And that is the final eye look.
So for lipstick, I'm using the Drug Cosmetics Hydra Matte Lipstick in a shade Wine Down. So obviously this is not a drugstore product, but it's drugstore price because right now and most of the time there is a coupon code that allows you to get 2 of these for $25. So that actually brings them down to drugstore prices. So this kind of fits in with the drugstore tutorial. Alright guys, that's it for today. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and go check me out on my blog and Instagram. Both of those are Lashes, Love, and Leather, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys.